We shall now continue the general debate. The Assembly will now hear an address by His Excellency Antonio Costa, President of the European Council of the European Union. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Senhor Presidente, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the world faces a crucial choice. Do you want a rules-based international order that upholds multilateralism and the United Nations Charter, or a chaotic world based on unilateralism, violence, and disruption? The European Union knows where it stands. We are a project of peace, of reconciliation, of social justice. We are and will remain a steadfast defender of multilateralism, of the rules international-based order, and of the United Nations Charter. The alternative to this international rules-based order is a chaotic and violent world. As seen in Sudan, an unreported and devastating conflict with destruction of huge proportions, as seen in Gaza, as seen in Ukraine. In Gaza, where we witness an unimaginable suffering, children starving, families shattered, a humanitarian catastrophe that shocks the world's conscience. The use of starvation as a weapon of war is immoral and one that defies words. The European Union condemns terrorism in all its forms. The horrific attacks by Hamas cannot be forgotten. And we stand with Israel's right to security. Every country, every people have the right to live in security. The hostage must be released immediately. The Palestinian people have also the same right to security and to live in a viable state. A negotiated two-state solution is the only path to peace. Security for both peoples, dignity for both peoples, this is the solution we seek. The European Union has been an indispensable partner in the region. We are the largest provider of humanitarian aid to Palestinians. European funding has kept hospitals, schools, and institutions running. We have been, over the years, the largest supporter of the Palestinian Authority, supporting them in their reform agenda and in their efforts to ensure effective control of all the territory of Palestine. Dear friends, the European Union fully assumes its responsibilities, but we alone cannot stop this humanitarian catastrophe. Peace in the Middle East requires a collective response, and we need everyone to assume their responsibilities. We must act together and demand the unconditional release of all hostages, an immediate ceasefire, full and unimpeded humanitarian access, an end to illegal settlements, a renewed, credible commitment to a two-state solution. This was the strong message from the two-state conference hosted on Monday by France and Saudi Arabia, to which the European Union is fully committed. In Ukraine, a sovereign nation was brutally attacked by a permanent member of the Security Council, in clear violation of the United Nations Charter, a clear violation of sovereignty, territorial integrity, the respect of internationally recognized borders, and the right to choose its own destiny. Principles that bind all the members of the United Nations. This aggression threatens not only Ukraine, it threatens every nation in this assembly. If we accept Russia's invasion of Ukraine, no country will ever be safe. There is only one root cause to this war: Russia's refusal to accept Ukraine's right to choose its own destiny. For over 3 years, this war has claimed innocent lives, destroyed cities, and fueled global insecurity. Our collective security is tied to Ukraine's resilience. The European Union stands firm in supporting Ukraine in their fight for a just and lasting peace, in their efforts to bring an end to the killing and Russia to the negotiation table, in their future reconstruction, in providing security guarantees to prevent future attacks, in their path to full membership in the European Union. We will continue to apply pressure on Russia to end this war. We call for meaningful negotiations and an immediate ceasefire and a just and lasting peace. This is not Ukraine's fight alone. It is a fight for the principles we all hold dear. Excellence.
Your Excellencies, the European Union is determined to build a world founded on the fundamental values that we share with the United Nations: peace, human rights, and sustainable development. Human rights are the foundation for global peace and stability. Social protection, decent jobs, gender equality, and the fight against poverty are not optional. Rather, they are the guarantees of human dignity, of social stability, and of lasting peace between nations. The European Union defends freedom, democracy, and human rights, values which today are threatened by disinformation and by the abuse of digital technologies. We need to have global standards for transparency and accountability mechanisms. They also need to be as dynamic as the technologies that we are trying to regulate, to make sure that digital technologies give citizens means to act, and not autocrats or the new technology oligarchs. The European Union is in favour of a human-centred approach to artificial intelligence. We are at the forefront of the first global regulatory framework in the world for responsible AI, and we are calling for an equivalent level of ambition in the international domain. We are doing this based on our fundamental values: dignity, democracy, and the rule of law.
Excellencias.
Your Excellencies, climate change is not fake news. It is a scientifically proven fact that is affecting our present and our future. Destruction and deaths brought about by fires, floods, and hurricanes are not an invention. We're talking about something all too real. In addition, investing in decarbonization is key for the energy sovereignty of every country, for innovation, and for the competitiveness of our economies. That is why the European Union fully shoulders and fulfills its commitments undertaken in the context of the Paris Agreement, by reducing its emissions by 55% by 2030 and by achieving climate neutrality by 2050. We will continue actively promoting the protection of our oceans, which are lungs and the lifeguard for our planet. We welcome the ratification of the UN Treaty on the High Seas to safeguard biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. Sustainable development also means building alliances, not dependencies. We are at the forefront of the fight against climate change. Through the European Union's Global Gateway programme, some 300 billion euros are being mobilized by 2027 in sustainable investments and connectivity throughout the world. This is a decisive contribution to help attain the Sustainable Development Goals. In addition, the European Union, together with its member states, accounts for some 42% of global development assistance. We are the main donors to the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and the United Nations Development Programme. We lead, and we will continue to lead, global solidarity, even at these times of major budgetary restrictions affecting the United Nations system. Lastly, we need to make headway in reforming the international financial architecture and in the management of debt. The international financial system needs to be fairer, more inclusive, and more tailored to current challenges, so that it can also help us to close the financing gap for development by following the path that has been set by the Seville commitment.
Excellencies, the European Union is a global partner. The European Union and its member states are staunch political supporters and the largest collective donors to the United Nations. As the pillar of the multilateral system, we are working closely with other regional partners. That is why we are building stronger trade and industrial partnerships across the globe. We are advancing deals with Mercosur, Mexico, India, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Thailand, not just to boost trade, but to increase global predictability and resilience. The trade and investment agenda, based on fairness, sustainability, digital innovation, labor rights, and climate alignment. Because trade deals, not tariffs, deliver real benefits for all countries, companies, and citizens. In the multipolar world, we are building a powerful global network of partnerships with Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, United States and Canada, the Arab world, Asia, and the Pacific, as well with our European neighbors. In today's multipolar world, there is no global south or global north. Both are plural. And the European Union will continue to work with all partners in the spirit of global solidarity and meaningful partnership. Because multipolarity needs an effective multilateral system, a rules-based international order under the United Nations Charter. And this commitment stems from our own history. Europe rebuilt itself from the ashes of World War II through peace, through reconciliation, and through integration. We know these principles work because they worked for us. At a time when international cooperation is being tested, the value of reliable partnerships has never been greater. The European Union is a reliable and predictable partner and stands firmly with the United Nations. We will defend its principles, support the reforms of the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, work to make the United Nations more inclusive, more representative, and more effective, with the UN80 reform initiative and the implementation of the Pact for the Future. At a time when multilateralism is under threat, let me leave you with one simple promise. You can count on the European Union. Count on us to stand for peace, for multilateralism, for justice, for human dignity, for sustainability. The time has come to choose clearly: peace over war, law over force, accountability over impunity, solidarity over division, sustainability over crisis, justice over inequality. The European Union has no doubts about where we stand, and you cannot have any doubt about where we are. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the European Council of the European Union.